Oh, hi there. We're playing Her Story, a film that a film. It's an FMV, a game everyone loved years ago and still love, but I don't know what exactly it is. So let's. Very annoying chewing sound. I will have to chew more because I've taken insulin for it, but we'll get there. Oh, and you've not been able to hear this lovely music. This title music's great, and as soon as I turn on the sound for it, it stops. But you can hear that lovely fade away. You hear that lovely musical fade away. I wonder if I should have a hat to be an investigator. That's not an investigative hat. Okay. I'm pretty sure there's some tutorial text which I have to read. Actually, to figure out the aim of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, so the read me text. Okay. Introduction to the Logic Database. Computer technology is the backbone of modern police work. ACAP. The Logic Database is one of the many continuing efforts to digitize our workflow and preserve evidence in a manner which will allow you to work more efficiently. In the coming years, the computer will continue to be the most valued item in your crime-fighting toolkit. This database contains footage transferred from the existing homicide and serious crime tape archive at Portsmouth. I've also got a notebook because I'm ready to really solve a murder. So Portsmouth is interesting. It's been automatically sorted using our ASR technology. Each statement made by the interview participants is stored separately so that it can be tagged for submission to court. The audio has been digitally stenographed and the content of the testimony is attached to each clip. To retrieve a clip, type in a word, e.g. robbery, into the search field. Click search and the database will return all clips in which the speaker used that word. To narrow a search, use multiple words. If you're working from a printed transcript, you can be even more precise. Use inverted commas to search for an exact match against the entire statement. E.g., yes, I was there. Okay. To store a clip for later reference, click Add to Session. Also, if you wish to add additional tags of your own to help future searches, please click in the User Tags box and type in your desired tags. For any further assistance, please contact your Department Information Technology representative. Hey, here's the database. I filled a Freedom of Information form to give you guest access. Everything seems to work. They transferred the videos of the original tapes in 1999. And the Y2K thing hit and they got mothballed. No one has touched them since. I couldn't find the server with the detectives footage on. Possibly those tapes got damaged when the old archives were flooded in 97. A flood, eh? But figured this would be enough to take your time. SB. Who is SB? But also great, I don't think I'm a cop. There's a clock? Oh wow, it's 2024. Wow. We're investigating this 25 years late. Okay, so let me just. That seems like a normal text. This seems like the actual story of SB of what I'm trying to do. Let's search murder then. There's 4 things, okay.
it's murder. I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
Okay, not super useful. But that seems like a very close time. Her story should have been called First Story and it would have sold more copies. I think it sold really well, actually. I know that you're trying to imply that gamers are all deviants, and it's true. Saying that, this is very voyeuristic. Hi. Just looking at tapes of someone, so it's already a bit odd. That one didn't seem to be that useful. So that was 27 for the 6th. That seems like one of the first things. This is 107, 94. So this is a few days later.
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
Okay, Simon is the other name. February is the important word, I think, in that one.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
Oh my god. Well, I don't think I can, but actually that's really interesting. Hack info? No, whoa, there's a whole... Cracks with class, interesting. Okay, anyway, that's not... I got distracted with, like, how much can you play with the computer?
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
So we're going to have to look up Simon, SB, and February so far.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing.
Murder weapon.
And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
Oh, okay. Well, let's find out more about Simon, because that's... I want to find out what I am motivated to solve this. Okay, there's lots of entries. 61 entries! Whew. So I've got to get more, but let's see what... I wonder... Okay. Okay, so nothing for SB. What's Feb? From this, I'm so dyslexic. Also, hello, Alex. I didn't actually say hello. We just got straight into a bit. So how you spell February? Okay, there's only one clip of this, so let's actually watch this. This comes straight after this one, I think. 107, 29, 37. Yeah, this is...
Well, I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something. That's why I was speeding.
Oh, speeding.
And that wouldn't have been noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
Oh, so she works somewhere. Okay, let's just have a look at... Let's just put in timesheet. It's true. It's not as important. It's just... I know we should find out who Simon is, but timesheet is very interesting. Oh, okay. Okay, let's find out Simon then. And then we can start narrowing down, figuring out what's actually happening. Oh, this is before. So 20, okay, so 27th, the police think it's murder. But the 18th, they start interviewing her. No, thank you, bot. Please. Can I block using this? No, okay. I don't know how to use the software properly. Okay, let's find out about Simon. It's time.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
Okay, we're gonna watch that again because I want the name of the company.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things.
Oh wow, I can actually...
Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
Ernst
they do
Brothers.
Windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
Okay, let's watch the rest of the clips we've got going on at the moment.
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said I should bring a photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
Yeah, we got descriptions. We got a holiday that we can ask about.
It's the Rockington Arms.
Oh my god, more.
It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they have in sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
Let's get the names of Peter.
It's the Rockington
and
Arms. The Rock.
the other
It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan.
Peter and
There's
Susan.
some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they have in sometimes, Helen.
We have so many avenues to go down.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games. You know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
I don't know what Amstrad is.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
Okay, so I kind of want to put in maybe corpse. Or maybe let's... Because I want to see what happens in between those two things. Also, Alex, let me know how the sound is. Because... Oh! There's 6 entries, but only 5. Okay, interesting. She's playing guitar in one of them. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's have a look.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policeman. I found the body.
Well, she found the body.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up.
Oh, awesome, the murderer is in chat. Yeah, the murderer is bots. Unless it's you. Unless you are the murderer.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone.
Dinner.
I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff. About when we lived there. About the baby.
Baby, eh?
There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I lived down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police.
I wonder if Simon's the one who's been murdered. Or if it's someone else. Okay, let's just...
His body.
Yeah, bin bags there's always stuff bad in. That's a good point. We should ask about the bin bags and be like, what's your deal, lady? Oh, his throat.
Like his throat had been cut.
His throat was
I
cut.
can see his glasses. There's these thick
Ah, glasses.
glasses. It doesn't always wear.
We have so many avenues. So many avenues. Oh. Oh. Aesthetic or ease? That's... Alex, I'm putting it up to you of aesthetic or ease.
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. They laid a body on the dock to all the wind and the rain, till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by, all the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair, all the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair, all the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs
of her fiddle bones. Everyone!
all the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs
From her fiddle bones.
bones,
All the dreadful wind and rain.
And he made a
Fiddle
fiddle
out of her breastbone. All the wind and rain. Sound could hit a heart of stone. All the dreadful wind and rain.
But the only
That's the bridge.
tune that the fiddle could play was all the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was all the dreadful wind and rain.
The cops clap.
You think maybe used as evidence against you?
Oh, it's so cringy. It was such a cringy bit at the end. It was so cringy at the end. Okay, there's so many avenues. This is a tough game for me because I want to explore everything. Cops don't clap. It's true. It's true. That's the real conspiracy here. Yeah, but that was Taylor's version of Never Get Back Together. She had to re-release it in this form, and you can actually buy 5 different coloured COP computers, so you can have a collection of to make sure you get. It's the same song, but you get more. You just need to support Taylor. She needs support. She's so cheery. We are never, ever, ever, ever. Wait, she's never getting back together with Simon. Simon's dead.
Can you imagine? I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen.
There's the pregnant, the baby
There were
stuff.
so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. How can we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah had really fucked things up.
Hannah.
Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
Oh, there's so many names. There are so many. Okay, that's the one I see. What about Hannah? Oh, that's the one I just watched, obviously. What about her body? Oh, hello. Hello, new.
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
Did I complete the game? Because where's this music coming from? Wait, okay, so she did it. She just admitted to it. I feel like mirrors were mentioned before. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. He worked at a mirror place, didn't he? I was the murderer. God damn it. That's a twist. Did I don't know what the completion state for this game is, which is fine. Maybe, games don't need to have a completion state. I'm here to figure out a story, but I know she did it. But who was her accomplice? Should I look up Hannah and see if Hannah... Oh, hello. Okay, so this is when she's saying she's maybe missing.
My name is Hannah.
Her name is Hannah.
N-N-A-H. It's palindrome.
She's got
It's the same backwards as forwards.
split personality, maybe?
It doesn't work from here, though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
I've never seen this lady and Hannah Montana in the same room. Coincidence? Who is Hannah Montana? She is from... I don't know where this lady's from. Glad... Eve. That must be the baby's name, maybe? Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same. She's got a... like a little... a beat deck. Oh. This lady doing some acting. I'm so curious about what the trophies are. So I'm just... What are my achievements? 50% of the day. Oh. Okay. Cool. So just accessing, finding all the databases. The game.
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Why is she saying sorry for that?
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
No, I kind of... She wrote all of this stuff in a diary. Oh, so her mum's diary. What is going on?
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
Alright, we need to find out about Hannah, so I think the attic is the way to go. Holy crap, there's so much stuff. Okay. Should I look up Hannah? Attic? Oh, that does narrow it down. Yeah, I want to see this story, so that's...
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed.
So, we really need to look up, like, twins. And, like, I wonder if the twins died and she's taken on this personality, or if she's always had this split personality. Let's have a look at this then.
The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognised me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, in parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan. The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper, curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there. It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird, in a way it hadn't been before.
I feel like somehow I've taken the track that's just escalated, like, from, like, here to, like, here. Like, was I not meant to... This is... As... What? Like, think about how 2 minutes ago there was, like, a guitar. And now I'm, like... Holy crap. Okay. There's so much to look up. Let's type in twin first and see what... Ooh. There's some different dates we've not seen here. No, I can't play Peggle. It's too hard. It would be great. Oh, you mean on this PC? If I could download Peggle on the Southeast Constabulary PC? There are games. Oh. I don't know what that is. Because that's a game, right? Mirror game. Oh, I hate this. I don't know what I'm doing. This is not a fun break for me. What am I doing? What's... This is not Minesweeper. If it was Minesweeper, I could play it and win. This is just horrible. What am I doing? Like, what's the plan here? Cool. Okay. Great break for me. Great break. Not quite Peggle, but still.
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
Is the game laughing at me for thinking twins?
Are you out of your mind? Twins? Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
Wait 1 second. Yeah, this is 94.
There were always princes.
So Diana. This is so interesting. We're searching up Diana for the lols.
Yeah, we were 17.
17.
It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long, though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if her mum had twins, one of them died, she took on both identities. That's my guess. Okay, I was interested. Okay, there's so many things to look up. Holy crap, there's a lot of wigs. I should write down how many entries there are. 7 entries, so we need to find a way to put down wig later.
A wig? You mean... But what type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig.
She's lying,
What kind
she's
of
lying,
wig?
she's lying, she's lying, she's lying. We know she's lying.
This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
Oh, the cat flap, that's... Oh, there's so much to investigate. What podcast does it remind you of? What did she say about the wig in the first video we saw?
The parents decided there would be a wedding. After the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow, so we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist.
Yeah, Wigging Out's a great podcast.
In case anyone recognised me, I started.
There's actually 2 podcasts called Wigging Out now.
Hannah and I would meet up in the park.
Okay, so...
I was trying to get pregnant. This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing and she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
I want to look up gig. Sing, maybe. Oh, hello. I was looking for something. I guess we've not solved the murder. We know she did it. And actually I've forgotten why. I kind of got caught up. I might save the her body video.
So I moved out. Got a small bed set. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
Damn, she even said she doesn't exist.
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, well, that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
Okay, so a tattoo's so permanent. Do you know what I mean? So they must be two separate people. But she refers to Hannah in her third, not her oh, it's all complicated. Let's see what this last clip
Nothing
gives
else
us.
happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic.
Oh hey! I got should we look up more kissing? More kisses, because we got an achievement. This is not. I can't believe we got a trophy. He asked me to kiss him. 43.9% of players get that. So. Okay, so what do we have so far? I was trying to write Hannah, but I don't really have I'm not a tattooist. Okay, let's look up singing. Let's just curious about if wow, yeah. So we got lots of yeah, we want to look up her body in a second because I want to get back the detail that we were missing. Like I want to remember what they say.
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another card on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back.
Ouija board, there's...
After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
A Ouija board! I'm searching up Ouija or ghost.
Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But after the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him.
Wait, whoa.
I sometimes think he wanted to get caught. After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
Interesting. Okay, we... okay. Let's just type in Ouija. How do I spell Ouija? Is that how you spell Ouija? No, clearly not. Okay. Ouija. How do I spell it? I'll quickly open. This is Ouija with a A. Okay. There is another one. Excellent. I'm so glad.
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams.
There's so
We
much
used to
to look
wake
at
up
this.
and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
There's a lot of diary to look up too. Diaries have been mentioned a lot, but I like looking at these small bits because we're less. Princess, I think, is an interesting thing to search.
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror.
They keep talking
Hidden
about this
with
mirror.
glass. The kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me. Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember well I went over the river, and then there was a church there. Yeah. And I probably I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There.
Let's put in driving as a tag. Does that stay there? Yeah, great.
Yeah. We were 17.
Oh, I've seen this, but
It was a nice wedding.
that's why it's princess, because the long dress.
We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
Oh, there's... Okay, so I want to look up Princess Street and see if we can find out more. No, okay. Heart is very interesting. Okay, there's a lot to look up. Where do we go first? Should we try and find the more about the actual murder rather than the backstory now? So his throat was cut. Let's have a look. What have we found there?
On his throat. How?
No, give me more. I wonder if it like continues the story. Oh, that's very interesting. But we want this one, don't we?
I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay.
Eleanor's a new
I think
name.
she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day. Ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes.
So many
When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, And she still has a secret like that.
So at this point, she's not really revealed her whole thing.
They have been my parents' fingerprints. I'm not sure how long they last for, but is
Fingerprints,
that
eh?
possible? Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
So is the mirror the murder weapon then? That seems likely. Let's just look at these whilst we're here.
A couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
There's an argument. You gotta look up arguments. Okay. Oh, it's so much. So much.
Well, she has a knife.
Oh.
She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill. He might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure if it is.
Man, okay, what was the last thing I looked up? Throat. Let's go back to throat. Because I don't think we were done looking there.
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood.
In the living room?
There was a lot of blood. Yeah, he was dead. Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back.
That's the title.
She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy.
Simon
Smashed the mirror.
messed
They
up.
argued,
Simon
screamed.
messed
He
up.
hit her.
Oh, Simon,
She
you
grabbed The
asshole.
mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
Ah, it was accidental. Oh. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, gang. Wow. Okay. Let's just check this.
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed. Was still
I wanted
pretty
to-
sick of the STD.
Just quickly look up
And
that.
I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and Both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot.
She must be talking about her parents, maybe? Or Eleanor and Doug?
The police said it was the mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognise them.
Did she murder her parents?
There's no way you'd have picked death caps.
Death caps. Oh.
But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
I am so curious about how this was written. Like, how is this engaging? Because, well, it's engaging because you're like, oh, another thing. There's so much to ask about. I'm trying to ask about things that I think will have less results. Because Mushroom is going to have loads. Well, Mushroom is going to have like 4. That's a good game. Every time I turbo search, guess how many entries there's going to be. 3. That was close. Okay.
The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You could probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
Parcel tape, bin. Yeah, I do need to look up bin bags. God damn it.
They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them.
Let's look up death cap then. Okay, but let's look up poison. Let's see if she poisoned them. Oh! Oh, this is a new day. I don't think we've seen this day before.
At the time they said it was poison. Food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I didn't. I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
Okay, so we should try and figure out. There's Doug and Eleanor, and there was Eve. Was maybe the baby's name, if there's a baby. We also got Hannah. Okay. Homicide. Let's try the word homicide. No, okay. Murder is much more specific. I want to look up parcel tape. Any guesses on parcel tape? I think there's 2 entries, and one of them is a new one. No, just the one. Okay. Bin bag. Okay. Bag. Interesting. So this is the entirety of the bags.
When will the police let me back in the house? And they let me take
The
a bag of
hair
clothes
is
with me back.
interesting.
Okay. I parked up in the street.
Sometimes she
It was
has it
busy,
up.
so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see the
Peg.
shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out.
That's a word that's come up before.
I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just
Eric is
exhausted.
the boss.
So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
This game is so well crafted.
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer.
She just
I
said
took my keys
this.
out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell
So because the key
wouldn't
went
turn
in.
when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle.
It's
was cold.
exactly the same.
I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing.
It's
I walked
exactly
upstairs to
the
the bedroom.
same.
He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
She even did the that enough. It's literally a day or two apart. June has 30 days, right? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, let's find out about this cup of tea.
Could I have a cup of tea? A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just 1 sugar. Maybe a fresh cup of tea?
Oh, here's a new one.
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess.
Yeah, we should look up.
When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
So, oh yeah, so annoyingly, we gotta look up this biscuit tin. T has more than one entry. Or we're missing an entry, and I don't know what. Should I put in Simon? There we go, that's what I wanted.
When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
Okay, so we need to look up. We just want to. Oh. Okay, I've stumbled on this because clearly.
No, I was 15. Carl was.
Carl,
older.
hello, Carl.
17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It's stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
Yeah, we're going. Carl is a big chunk of this story that we're going to look up, but whilst I've got Biscuit in my mind, I just want to. Okay. There's a lot of diaries to look up, but let's look up if Carl's dead, you know? Okay, let's just look up Carl. Okay, there's only 5 entries. Excellent.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
Sexy Carl, eh?
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon. Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took an
I
intern,
didn't
so
realise.
Max was the one who seduced the boys.
I was listening to Lena
Until
Dunham's
Simon.
book of essays. Crazy. Okay. Let's just type in virgin? No, okay. Let's type in. Oh, there's so much to look up. This is fun. There are 10 entries. Oh. I want to look up if names are ever mentioned with Hannah at the same time. Because that's really interesting. There's Eleanor and Doug. There's Florence. I don't really care for the name Eric. But there's a new clip, so I might as well watch it.
Hannah had a miscarriage.
Oh God.
This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
oh God, it's so sad. And then it's fun. What was the thing I looked up and I was like, let's skip past that. It was like there were 10 entries pregnant. We will go back to pregnant. But this is interesting.
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents. Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories. Yes, I read a lot as a child. From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up, Simon was already up and he made me birthday breakfast of Eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday, then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway.
Oh,
And Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
birthday tea. Did you say that he had made a birthday tea? Because tea can be used instead of like dinner I refer to it as like breakfast, lunch, tea, but or no, I refer to it as breakfast, dinner, tea in my parents' household. Okay, this is so interesting. Why is this
Yes.
so interesting?
I got to Glasgow. I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back.
Okay. We gotta find out about Glasgow. Because this is this whole story. And is this... Am I filling this up? Is that what's happening? Okay.
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep. Yeah, that's Simon's watch.
Oh, the
It
watch
was
is
a
a
gift from
really...
Eric. He got it this year.
She said that was like
It was a
her
wedding
idea.
anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, it must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
Okay, so the watch stops. That's how she...
No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
Deserted. Okay, we're gonna look up to try and get this down from 10 to 5.
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
Yeah, so she crashes, so then she has records somewhere. Interestingly, I was watching Monk, which is a very bad show, and they did a similar thing where a guy intentionally crashed in front of police, so then he would be locked up whilst some mail bombs he had delayed to be sent out, putting him in the clear. Let's look up deserted. Oh, did I spell that wrong? Let's try crash. Let's try taxi. Alright, let's try hospital. Here we go.
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital.
Okay, so that's one more entry I found. What? How many more? What else do we want? How else do we find what we're missing from in Glasgow? I want to type in us. I want to type in. I wonder if us reveals anything. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay. I want. There's so many ideas. Overstring on the boards. There's so many at the moment. Okay. Let's go for.
What about us?
Interesting.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope. Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diana's a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Seedfax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
Hey, we got a we got a thing for fennel. Is that the only one? Yeah. Okay. Interesting. God, what am I looking at? It's trying to. My brain is just. There's so much us. Us was an interesting word. Come Back and Stay. Let's look up that song. Oh, interesting. Okay. So those are fine. What was the two of us? Sounds good to try instead of okay. Okay. So where are we going to go? Let's look up the hospital. I think that would give us more than just the Glasgow stuff. Although that is from the Glasgow telling, so that's going to be that.
Ask the hospital.
Well, I did, and you didn't say anything. I'm going to type in illusionist. I want to... I just want to see how, if the game is at all meta. You've never seen us. That's a good way of narrowing down us. Okay, there was nothing there. Mums. We should... There's so much.
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
Who was the shy one and who's the confident one? Interesting.
A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
Eve, eh? I think mums and plurals sound changing. Okay, quick. Need to. Okay, nothing important there, I don't think. Just having to check emails. Oh, I need to send that. Okay. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. You know what wasn't cool? Me trying to eat. Eve. Let's look up Eve.
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
Oh, so Eve is confident. Interesting.
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
She's got a killer instinct. A killer instinct.
My mother called me Eve.
So we did get Eve mentioned earlier, and we should have looked that up. I should have looked up all the names and seen which one is the one that's not Hannah. But look at this. So this is Hannah, right? She's shy, she's unconfident, and then Eve with the hair. She's the confident one, and she's all shy. Okay, let's check out baby Eve. Okay, cool. I just wanted to rule that out because Eve was mentioned with baby earlier, I believe. What else could I search to? Okay. What could I search? That was like an age when they did things. Eve. Wig. What were some big search names that didn't have Eve, Us, Glasgow? What about Smith? Okay. What about Eve pregnant? What about Eve and Carl? Did I put in Eve and Simon? Okay, let's... Did we look up Biscuit Tin? We could search that, actually. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hannah Smith. Let's not make it specific. Okay. Okay. Where do we want to go on this investigation? What? Oh, should we look up the watch? Should we do that tangent? How many clips are there? 5. Okay.
He was wearing a shirt. It's a blue turtleneck shirt.
So this is her
and jeans.
saying he's missing.
He has a watch. It's a really nice one.
Oh.
It's a gift from his boss, Eric.
Watch. Oh, I'm so
He has
innocent.
a long grey duffel coat, black pants and there.
I'm so
He was
innocent.
taking that with him. It's not in the house.
Oh, I'm so innocent. Oh, he just had a watch. He just had a little watch, a nice little watch from his boss, Eric. Let's type in time then. Does the time... Ooh! There's a lot, of course, they're going to ask about timings and stuff, but so let's look it up.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them
He
off
has
at
the
the top.
glasses.
But he needs them to see properly. He needs to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV. So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since.
Oh, okay.
He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all.
That was a tangent. The
Still
Rock.
not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either. A long time. We got married when I was 17. Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Well, no, we've not actually really looked up more of that stuff. Should we look up the rock then? Should we try and piece together Friday night?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
This is what's interesting, is I feel like I not got to the end necessarily, but
No one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone summoned you from the rock.
because if we looked at the rock as like when that first came up, which was really early in our, yeah, it was super early, but we decided not to. Okay, so let's look up their names. So we have Helen is the barmaid. Let's look up Helen first.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
The blonde thing. He's blonde, isn't he? Interesting. Okay. Let's quickly type in blonde. Oh, hello. More guitar is coming.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there? You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay? Something that's tuning. How about a traditional band?
Yes, please. Oh, brother.
Walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain, but he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. She pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain.
Remember that thing about holding Eve's head?
She slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind. Son. Oh, the wind and the rain. Father dear, here swims and swan. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
Oh, that's where it goes really weird, huh? That's where it goes really weird. Oh, that's where. Oh, is that where it goes weird? No, so I've seen that one. What? Okay. Interesting. Oh, I know we need to... I always said we would figure out the pub. Pushed. Okay, let's do the pub. Let's go back to the pub. I typed in the Rock, but not the Rockington, right? Yeah, so let's do the Rockington. Because clearly the game wants us to search. I don't know. Okay, so who do we have at the Rock? We also have Peter. And we had Susan. That's a dead end. The clue in that one is blonde. I think that's the clue, that if you go down that red herring, that he liked blondes. That's the key thing there. Okay. Must have been ginger because of his ginger beard. He was blonde, wasn't he? And he was 6 foot. Okay. Oh, there was that weird word, which I don't know what it is, but that's all we're getting from there. So, maybe we should look up. We've kind of gone through the pub thing. That clearly didn't go anywhere. There was the plumber from the pub, though. Okay, cool. That's the pub, I think. We've gone through there. In terms of finding out the stuff there. Very not interesting. So should we start looking up Carl, I guess? Maybe we should look up Smith. Okay, we've done all the Smiths. There's so many arguments. Just trying out a couple of different things.
I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way. Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Interesting. Hello.
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. I think when I drove back it was about 8 or something. And I got back to the house about 3. About 8 years back. It was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup. When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
music's bloody great. It's really sad. I don't know why.
He has a wallet, a huge, silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. Sets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before when he comes in.
The glasses. We can look up the glasses.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
Rapunzel has long blonde hair as well. Oh, that's
Well,
very
She
good.
wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to take a story? It's a real life fairy tale.
It's so good, this game. It's very, very good.
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books. And the Glaziers wasn't always rushing. Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. Do what you can.
This music is so good.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children.
Mirrors. It's so...
Even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
smart because it's like, oh, we want you to discover everything, but there's different words are going to appear in different moments. So the mirror stuff, that's so good. It's so good. What? This? No. What? Me. I did find something there.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
Oh, she wants to. I want to call, but I feel like that's the end of the game. I feel like then I've got to say, and I really want to look for everything. What else do I want to look up? I'm probably going to end soon. But let's look up Eric. Let's see if there's anything new that comes up. Interesting, okay.
Yes, there's a car that we share of Cavalier and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back. Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
Should we type in Diane to get some more? I got another guitar one.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. They get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
Alright. We should look up Eric and Simon. Let's look up Ernst. Really? That's all? Okay, interesting. I was hoping, because Simon's such a big... Glasses? Ugh, there's so much to look up. Where? Okay, let's try the Cavalier as a car name. Okay, no. What do I want to go? Oh, the bruise and the scars. We should look up body stuff.
Bruce. Oh yeah, no, it's nothing.
She doesn't have a goddamn
And
tattoo.
the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. We hurt like hell. If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck frozen peas up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. When our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
Childhood is good. Okay, let's just... Yeah, tell me about your tattoo.
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
Eve. Let's Let's just type in Eden quickly. Okay, no more biblical references. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Where do I want to go next? I guess the chit-chatting is saying I've got enough information to solve, which I think is true. Let's look up that name of that street. No, okay. Who was another name? I think it was Doug and Eleanor, yeah.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them. Yeah. 1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
Alright, I'm gonna quickly Google if I should chit-chat on her story. I don't think anything happens. Anyway, okay. I don't think me calling them suddenly says to them, like, oh, so what's solved the mystery, answer these questions. It's not like that, I don't think.
This is the third day running you've called me in. I speak to Doug and Eleanor every day. And they say you've been asking a lot of questions. About me. Should I be worried? Am I a suspect?
You are. You did it. You did it, girl. Oh, a new one.
Yes.
Excellent.
I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
It's fun getting achievements. It's interesting to be like these don't feel like they're hard to find, but that is partly because I'm just like searching everything. Okay, we haven't looked up Florence as a name yet, I don't think.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me. No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
I also want to type in the title. Oh, hello.
Silverleaf? No.
The mirror, of course.
He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection. Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books. I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd been restored to my rightful place.
Witch. Hello.
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her
Didn't I
parents
search
and keeps her
Rapunzel?
locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind. But she kills him with her tears, and so It's a happy ending. Is that too much?
Mother's very different from mum. It's just.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
Fingerprints mirror. I still haven't searched up mirror.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Okay. Names. Mirror. Mirror. Should we Google mirror finally?
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
Okay, what? I'm gonna probably head in a second. Is there anything else I want to look up before? Oh, peg. The word peg is super interesting. Okay, I found all the pegs. Bones. Okay. Meal. Oh, an anniversary. Anniversary is a good one.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
I guess once you figure out there's two people, you should try and know who's who. Or find the inconsistency.
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that. No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant. Well, a week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends, have a lie-in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
Hey, we found 50%. Hey. Pregnant.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married. Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
So I wonder if I'm like the kid or something. No.
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. In the worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck. Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications. I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm.
So that's why the rules. She.
And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile.
That's why they had to hide
Both of
her.
us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was. Fine. I've never had my fingerprints taken before. I once put my hand on the oven.
Okay, how she burnt her hand? Did like
Fingerprints?
fingerprints?
Yes. Yeah. I would have cleaned them. I changed the sheets too. Were the fingerprints in all those places?
And
Really? Go on then. Take the cup. Run your fingerprints. They'll match. Fucking idiot.
oh yeah, actually, this might be a good thing to end on. Just typing in her story. Obvious.
I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do, to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I knew it was stupid not to tell you everything. Saying I spent the night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. Now
Now he's gone. Oh. Oh. Didn't mean to do that. I wonder. Yes. Good. So you think you understand why your mother did what she did? Oh no. Huh. Why did she do what she did? I guess, there's lots of reasons. Let's say Let's say yes. Oh. Okay. Okay. This has been lovely. Oh. I hope I get to keep looking at what I was looking at. Good, 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 good. Well, nice, lovely, great, thank you. Alright, I have to go use the toilet badly. Oh, 3 viewers, hi everyone. I got credit.